What's up, everybody? Remington from Impulse Creative, and today I'm super stoked to share with you how to integrate HubSpot and Drift. Now, the two platforms are very powerful, and there's a lot of opportunity to leverage the power of Drift in conversational marketing and also integrate that so that you get the full context of the prospect or the buyer within HubSpot. Now, you could be using the HubSpot CRM or you could be using HubSpot Marketing. Either way, you'll be able to get some value out of having these two systems integrated. Now, in addition, there are going to be some features that I'm going to talk about that are for HubSpot Enterprise only, and that's because of events and event tracking. But there's lots of ways around trying to capture those events. Today, we're just going to dig into the native integration between the two platforms. So the first thing you're going to do is you are going to go to your gear off to the left. You're going to find app settings and you're going to go to apps. When you get to apps, you're going to scroll down and you'll see HubSpot right here about halfway down in the middle. And upon clicking that, you'll have the opportunity to connect an account. So when you connect the account, it is going to ask for you to choose your HubSpot portal and or log in if you aren't already. And then once you do that, you'll be able to get into the integration pieces. So now that HubSpot is connected to Drift, you'll be able to go in and start mapping fields in the right direction. So when we look at the three main areas here, you get to map your HubSpot users, you get to map your HubSpot attributes, and then you get to choose how the data is synced between Drift and HubSpot. So we're going to start with syncing data between Drift and HubSpot. So when you look at from Drift into HubSpot, you can choose what you want to sync. So for instance, the lead owner in HubSpot, it syncs leads from Drift to HubSpot, and then you can send the activity data to HubSpot. The activity data is going to be a majority of what is going to be under the enterprise level of the tool. When we look at these features, sync leads to Drift is pretty self-explanatory. It's going to take any contacts that are created with an email address, and upon the contact conversation being closed, it will sync that data over to HubSpot. The next one is setting lead owner to HubSpot. And so essentially for every new owner every new contact that Drift creates, they're going to set the lead owner based who had the meeting booked, who had the chat routed to them, or who closed the conversation. It's very important to understand it's going to be in that order. If there's a meeting booked, that takes precedence. So then you also have the ability for sending the activity data. The activity data is going to be that a conversation was started, that an email was captured, and that a meeting was booked. So those three things would show up in the timeline, and those come across as events in HubSpot. So if you don't have the enterprise version of HubSpot, you may not see some of that data, but it's totally fine because you'll see the other conversions and every time a conversation is closed. Then we've got the HubSpot to Drift side of things. So I'm going to paint a picture for you real quick. You send out an email to 10,000 people. You send that email out and it sends people back. You can trigger conversations based on that campaign if you have the campaign set up correctly in HubSpot. But one thing that happens is anyone that clicks on those emails will be known by HubSpot. And if they're known by HubSpot and you can identify and keep track of them in the contact timeline, then Drift can also pick up on that. And so we have identify Drift visitors with the HubSpot cookie. That will mean that you will get to see all of the people who are coming back and engaging with your brand based on the HubSpot cookie, and that information will be synced from HubSpot into Drift. It's a very powerful piece of this integration. So when we go back to the other settings, you also get to, I'm going to skip over the attributes for now, and we're going to go to the HubSpot users. So you have to manually set who you want to map from as a HubSpot user mapped over to the Drift users. So these are going to be your salespeople. These are going to be any of your marketers that are managing accounts, and it could even be some of your BDRs. But essentially, you have to map who the individuals are on both sides. So on the HubSpot side, obviously you can go through and you can choose everyone. And from the Drift side, you would go through and match the users to the said individuals. This is going to make it so that lead routing works effectively within HubSpot and that those contacts are synced. Awesome. So when you go to the mapped attributes, this is where it can get fun and super messy all at the same time. I've got some that are already preset in here, but essentially what you're going to want to do is email will be automatic. The first thing that you can do is you can add in the general contact information. And then some of these fields that you have here, you would need to create in a playbook or in the contact timeline in order to capture that information. So if the field exists in Drift, then you can sync it over into HubSpot quite easily. There might be some creation of fields needed in Drift, and that's for another tutorial. But what you'll notice is you'll have first name and last name. There is a name version in Drift, but first name and last name with the capital N in the middle will automatically split that name. And then, of course, you can add phone. We created a custom field that was HS website, and we have the same thing with HS company. You can do whatever works best for you, and then just remember those fields as you're building playbooks down the road. If you want to create a new field, I'll show you how one of those can be done right here. We can scroll through and you can see all the different fields that are available here. You can pull in the conversion form. You can pull in the original medium if you want to keep things separate, and the information that you can start to pull in, for instance, already used service could be one, or project description. If we click project description, we then can come over here and we can search and start typing. We have about your project. So now we have project description and about your project is being synced. So all you need to do is scroll up to the top, click the update button, and once you click the update button, the sync will automatically start. Now there's one other thing that is quite useful as you start to debug your HubSpot integration, is you have this view HubSpot event log, and it's kind of hidden in the bottom. This is going to allow for you to pull up certain time frames. And for instance, we can go over the past 24 hours and it's going to show every time that something is updated within the tool. It's a great opportunity for you to audit what is working and what isn't. And you just need to keep an eye on that, especially in the beginning and periodically, to make sure there isn't any errors. So that's it for this tutorial. If you have questions or you need help integrating HubSpot and Drift, or you've got a larger organization and you need some assistance getting everything set up and connected, the folks over at Impulse Creative will be more than happy to help you out. My team is super excited to help you and start showing you the power of conversational marketing and HubSpot with Drift. If you have any other questions, please hit me up on Twitter at RemingtonBeg, or you can leave a message in the comments. If you'd like to see other tutorial videos we've done, you can go ahead and you can do that right here. And if you would like to subscribe to our daily tutorial videos, you can go ahead and you can do that right here. Until next time, I'm Remington from Impulse Creative. Have a great day.